Last night, Spurs fans, did we see the art of tanking without tanking? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you're having a great weekend. And last night, I asked you, Spurs fans, did the Spurs tank last night's game? And was it the right move? I'll answer that question, or questions. We'll answer that just in a few moments, but first let's talk about last night's game. First off, let's look at the injury report. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell were on it. Just played a back-to-back, huge win against the Warriors. I don't know, looked pretty fine to me. I think they were good to go. They're pulling, Spurs pulled what the Utah Jazz have been doing for far too long this season, is players that are healthy and they just kind of mysteriously have this ding come up where they can't play. Left ankle soreness, my butt. I bet both were good to go, and the Spurs did not want to play them. Jeremy Sohan, done for the year. Charles Bassey's not on the report, but he might as well be because his noodle knee is always injured. Even when it's not injured, you can't trust it. All right, Exhibit A. Exhibit B. The third quarter rotation for last night. Yes, some of the regulars played like Stephon Castle and Bismack Biyombo. Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes didn't play in the second half at all. And I'm happy that David Duke Jr., Harrison Ingram got some minutes, but then you also had Malachi Branham out there. Let's just say the rotation in the third quarter did not put us in the best position to win that quarter, and we did not. The Spurs got outscored 39-17 in the third. And granted, they have sucked at times throughout the season in the second or third, but that quarter last night sealed the deal and the Phoenix Suns won. So this rotation, questionable, but we'll get to that in just a few moments. Before we do so, before we answer the question and questions, props to Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes and Julian Champagnie. If they play tomorrow, which I fully expect them to do, they have all played in 82 games, something we don't see all too often in the NBA these days with load management. It should be noted that this will only be the second time in Chris Paul's career that he has played 82 games, the first time since the 14-15 season when he was 29 years old. And at 39 years old, he's going to do it for a second time, so that's really awesome. And last but not least, Stephon Castle playing game number 81 tomorrow, so nice job, guys. But the first part of the question, yes, they tanked last night. Absolutely. I have no doubt the organization said, yeah, we need to lose this one. I don't think the players did. I think the players went all out last night, but we were just outmatched. I mean, we're missing tons of guys. Our vets weren't playing in the second half. The Suns were still playing Booker and Beal in the second half. Dunn went off, so yes, I think the Spurs tanked it last night. But why? Why would the Spurs do that, especially after having that huge win in against Golden State? Well, let's pull up Tankathon. If the Spurs won out and the Suns and Blazers lost out, which is certainly a possibility, all three teams would have been tied at 35 and 47, which means the Spurs possibly could go from the 8th spot in the lottery down to number 10. And that's a big drop. If I move this over this way, you go from a about a 14% chance to get in the top 4 to a 26% chance. That's the difference between 10 and 8. And then for the first overall pick, yeah, it doesn't really change much percentage there-wise, but the chance of a top 4 overall pick certainly jumps up substantially from number 10 to number 8. So to circle back around to the question at the beginning, yes, they tanked, and yes, it was the right move. I don't like tanking. I've already talked about on the channel, I hate seeing what the Utah Jazz have been doing the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, I don't know. But yes, for one game, or for just one half, I get it, and yes, it was the right move. However, there's a caveat to this. That was a road game, and a road game that needed to lose to keep their lottery position. That being said, though, they better win tomorrow's game. Go all out. It can't change your lottery position at all. It's the last game of the year, and it's in San Antonio. I expect everybody that's healthy or even somewhat healthy should be out there playing. Obviously, don't put somebody out there that could risk an injury. Don't play Charles Bassey. Leave it at that. He's the one big injury risk, but everybody else should play. Help secure Stephon Castle's Rookie of the Year. He probably already has it, but let him run the offense. Get HB and CP3 their 82nd game of the year as well as Champagnie and win and get the record to 34 and 48, which I know doesn't sound great. My projection was 35 to 40. Fell just short of that. Of course, how could I possibly know that Greg Popovich would go down early in the season, very early in the season, and that Wemby would miss pretty much half the year, which, by the way, Victor Wembanyama is still leading the league in blocks. Not per game, because I don't think he's going to qualify, or maybe he will. I'm not sure. There's some weird math thing where you take the amount of games played and divide it into what they could have played, whatever. He's leading the league in blocks by like 30, and he hasn't played since the All-Star break. He would have been Defensive Player of the Year this year, and let's be honest, he should have got it last year. He would have been back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year, but it is what it is. We're trending in the right direction, Spurs fans, and I know some are going to not like what the Spurs did last night. I don't necessarily like it, but I understand it, and organizationally, it was the best move for the team. It's just, I hope they win tomorrow. Finish, win. Actually, let me back up on last night's game. I think the most disappointing thing about the game is not that they lost it, because I understand the situation, but just how crappy we played in the second and third quarters. We got outscored 60-30 or something crazy. It's like, okay, if you're going to go down, at least go down swinging, and I did not feel that last night. And that's what made that suck the most. I'm like, you know what? Go out there and at least fight, fight hard and make this game competitive. And no, the third quarter was awful. 39-17 is not the type of quarters I want to see from any NBA team, to be honest. And we got that last night, and it was ugly. But hopefully, this pays off and the Spurs get a top 4 pick. If they pick 8th, hey, that's great too. To have another lottery pick, I did not expect that. I thought we'd be in the playoffs or at least play in. And we're going to have our pick, we'll say at 8, depending on what happens. And then the Hawks pick, who knows with them. I want to finish up with the Hawks. I'm actually going to go off a little tangent here. I've been very confused on the play-in rules. I want to thank you guys that were hanging out last night for the Spurs-Suns game. You explained the play-in to me, and I also looked it up on Google. So how it works, and the Hawks are going to be in the play-in. There's no doubt about it. I believe they're going to play. I'm actually going to bring up Tankathon again. They're going to play Orlando. We scoot this up a little bit. A little Scoot Henderson it up. Atlanta and Orlando, I believe, are the 7th and 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. So how it works is Atlanta will play. I think you guys are saying it's Orlando. Play Orlando. If they win, they're in. Well, I'll just do the numbers. The 7th and 8th seed play each other in the play-in. Whoever wins is in as the 7th seed. The 9th and 10th seed are going to play each other. Whoever wins that plays the loser of the 7-8, and then the winner of that game is the 8th seed. So if the Hawks win their first play-in game, they're in, and that's it as them as a lottery team. If the Hawks lose their first play-in game, then they play another one, and if they lose that one, they're out. So then they got to lose. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think I'm explaining this right. If they lose 2 play-in games, then they're out on their lottery team, and then I don't know where their position would be then. I don't know if it would be based on their standings in the Eastern Conference or overall record. We're going to hate watch the Hawks next week. I think the play-in starts on Tuesday, and we'll be live for that one. I got to call that game. I know we're going to be rooting against a team, but it's something we haven't done on the channel. Actually, physically root against a team, and we'll be rooting hard for the Orlando Magic. I think it's Orlando Magic. Yes, right? Sorry, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but it just popped in my head. It's like, yeah, the Magic are 41-40. So yeah, the play-in teams are right there, 15-16. So yes, this is a picture. So I'm like moving it like I can scroll on the website. It's a picture I took. Whoops. But yeah, Atlanta, I believe, and Orlando are the 7th and 8th seed. And I'm losing my train of thought. I guess it's time to wrap it up. Drop a comment down below your thoughts on last night's game. Do you think they tanked? And was it the right move? Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our Austin Spurs community. I'll see you tomorrow for the last game of the season. TSR also going for his 82nd game of the year, as we haven't missed one. 3:30 p.m. Eastern against the Toronto Raptors in San Antonio. Let's go out with a win. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.
Go Spurs go, 'cause the Giants stay.